I'm Sandra Bennett. Halloween is almost upon us again and for another year. Do you like a good spooky story? I hope so, because tonight I'm going to read my story in the Spooktacular Stories, the Share Your Story Anthology for thrilling tales for brave kids. My story is titled The Dead Centre of Town. This was a stupid idea, but I wasn't about to turn back. The rusty iron gate creaked as I opened it. The gate was freezing to touch. I should have worn gloves. Dad had always thought it was funny to call the cemetery the dead centre of town. Every time we drove into an old country town, he would say we had found the dead centre when we spotted the graveyard. My brother Jack would laugh. There was nothing funny about tonight. I crept into the stillness. The full moon shone a path through the trees towards the old, faded and cracked headstones where I had promised to spend the night alone. I wasn't about to let my brother or cousins have the last laugh. I could do this. Girls are just as brave as boys, and I planned to prove it. Nothing bad could happen in here. It was just a place like any other, right? Tree branches rustled in the breeze as I willed myself to move forward. My footsteps echoed. I was being followed. Probably just my annoying brother determined to keep scaring at me enough that I wouldn't stay. That just made me dig my heels in even more. I could be brave too. "Who's there?" I called out. My voice was shaky. "Who? Who?" came the reply. Two tiny eyes glowed through the bushes. A shiver ran up my spine. Memories of the campfire stories my family told earlier tonight came flooding back. "You'll know you can channel spirits when you can feel the cold creep up through the ground into your feet and up your legs," said one cousin. You'll hear your heart pounding in your chest," said another. "The hairs on the back of your neck will stand on end," said my brother. This was silly. I was letting my imagination get the better of me. Even though I'd worn thick socks, my feet were almost numb. The muscles in my shins were beginning to freeze. The last thing I wanted was unexplained company. I pulled my hoodie down tighter over my face. My joggers crunched in the autumn leaves that scattered in the wind. Goosebumps ran up my arms. My teeth chattered. The night air was chillier than I had expected. As I stepped forward, I heard a sound like the click of a camera on a mobile phone. I froze and looked around. My infuriating brother had to be here somewhere. "Come out, Jack." I stood with my hands on my hips. "Show yourself." My foot tapped the ground as I waited. I looked behind me, to both sides, even ahead. But there was no sign of him. The cold wind swept a bunch of leaves together. They whirled around in a mini tornado to force me to duck for cover as they flew towards me. Each leaf brushed past my face like a flutter of dried wings. A croaky laugh came from somewhere among the bushes. I would have sworn it was a kookaburra starting to work itself into a frenzy, except for the fact that it was dark. There wouldn't be any kookaburras here. "Jack," I screamed, "this is not funny. Where are you?" I waited in silence. My heart thumped as a rustle in the bushes sent dried leaves scattering. There was still no word from Jack. Whatever was out there made my goosebumps tingle. My heart skipped a beat and my bottom lip trembled. I tripped over my own feet and started to run. I wanted to put some distance between me and whatever was out there. Then I crashed to the ground. I had tripped on a broken piece of sandstone and landed across an overgrown plot. My wrists hurt when I reached out to break my fall. I scrambled to my feet and brushed the dirt and grass from my hand and knees. As I rubbed my wrists, I read the engraving on the stone in front of me. "Be afraid. My body and bones are buried here. I'll come haunt you year after year." If you'd like to know what happens next, you can purchase a copy of the Spooktacular Stories through Amazon. And in doing so, you'll also support kids in need that are sick in hospitals. Thank you so much for listening. Bye for now.